Hey everyone, good morning. Happy Wednesday, May 3rd. Welcome to the Plant-Based Morning Show. Sponsored by Compliment, presented by Compliment, lovecompliment.com. Plant-based supplements, health in a bottle is really what the slogan should be. We got a good show today. Some fun articles, some interesting stuff in the weather report, and I thought I had something else that I was going to just sort of say in the beginning, but I have forgotten what that was. Oh, you know what it was? It was that we've probably done something like over 200 of these shows now. I don't have the number in front of me, but it's got to be because we're like 9 months in to doing these on a near daily basis. Okay, I'm adding Doug to the Instagram show. Reminder: if you're on Instagram, and I see that some people are, you should go to YouTube. It's youtube.com/NoMeatAthlete. We're putting effort in over there. It's a better quality. The chat is better. There's just so many reasons to go over to YouTube and subscribe and like and sign up for notifications, all that. Doug, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Matt, you think we've done 200 of these already?
I don't know. I can look while we're doing the show. I mean, we did 100 a while ago. So
Wow.
I think maybe that's not right. That's probably not right because we don't do it a weekend. So there only would be 250 in a year. So I don't have the number in front of me, but I'll try to figure it out. We've done 157. That's how many have been published as podcasts. We probably did another 10 or 15 before that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It is a lot.
How many times have we embarrassed ourselves?
Never once. We just do everything with
okay.
poise and aplomb. Yeah, except for when that troll called us out. That one I know.
Yeah.
I know that one got to you. All right, so let's see what's new in the Hay House. Anything up we should know about before we jump in? I've got a little thing from the Discord, and that's about it. So let me know what
we did something funny last night. Something we never do. I literally think we've never done this.
Okay.
And that was last night or yesterday before school. Katie was asking, she was going to go to the grocery store. Katie was asking what everybody wanted. Somehow a chant about tater tots started. Maybe I started it. I'm not sure. It's very possible. I think I did. And so she picks up some tater tots, and we baked tater tots at home last night, just like out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they're not nearly as good as the ones that you'd like get at a restaurant that had just been fried or something like that. But
right.
They were pretty good. Definitely not something I'm gonna maybe ever do again. But a little tater tot treat at home tater tots, like why not? That's awesome. But there was definitely at 7:20 a.m. yesterday morning. There was a whole house-wide tater tots chant going on.
Were they like the old school lunch tater tots rather than like the brewery tater tots, where they're softer and probably way healthier than being fried a second time?
Yeah, that's what they were. They just they didn't have quite the crunch that you would expect from a bar tater tot. But they were still pretty tasty.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Every now and then we'll get something like corn dog, field roast corn dogs or something weird like that. I'd say twice a year. Twice a year we'll do something like that, and then I always feel like I shouldn't do that, so we don't do it again for 6 months. But
if you're making tater tots at home, more power to you.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I'm a regular tater tot eater. Let's be real. It's just not when I'm at home.
Right. Yeah, I'd probably say that for out of the household.
Mr. Jeffrey says you can get them pretty nice and crispy in the air fryer. I wish that would be good. That's what they needed. Is what they really needed was for me to flip them, which I did do once. But really, there's 50 of them. I'm not going to be really meticulous about how they're all flipping. I just kind of shook them and moved them around. And but if you had like kind of clockwork flipped them a couple times, then they would be great.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see the air fryer doing an okay job. Mm-hmm. I think you should remain a social tater tot eater, meaning you do it out of the house, you do it in the right situation, but you don't bring that into the home. In general, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah. So a social omnivore, right? I'm a social totivore.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay. So I saw yesterday Bianca shared in the Discord For those who don't know, Bianca, friend of the show, not often, has been on a couple times on Fridays, often participates in the Discord. She tried the Meati, whole cut. I think it was the carne asada version. Maybe it was just the regular steak. I'm not sure. But she tried that. I had talked about it on the show, said that one was pretty good, even though I didn't like the chicken one. This is made from mycoprotein. The steak is like mind-blowingly like steak. It's really strange because it doesn't have fat in it, or no added fat, and it's not like the mycoprotein, which is the mushroom root system. It's not like that is naturally loaded with fat. So it's a very low fat thing. So I'm just surprised that it captures the texture and the taste even so well of a steak, at least as I remember it. So anyway, Bianca, I saw she posted a review there. She said this was amazing, like life-changing, steak thing. Put a picture of it.
Life-changing.
Well, maybe she didn't say that, but it implied that. and I responded and said, yeah, cool. Like I can't believe they do it without the fat. And then I keep scrolling down, and she had a new update that was there the morning after, and she said, "Update: I was awake for 2 hours, puking my guts out.
Oh no!
All night after that." Yeah, and she's sure it was that. Her best friend, I think, maybe has a similar allergy to corn products, QUORM, which is the vegan meats made from mycoprotein. They've been using the mycoprotein forever. I don't know how long, a decade probably. And she has eaten those things no problem, but her friend used to have an issue or has an issue with those. So anyway, she doesn't know. She assumed it's some sort of allergy related to the mycoprotein. But yeah, I guess a little warning there. If you're going to dive into that stuff, be prepared. I guess more people than you might expect have allergies to mycoprotein or mycelium, which is the root itself.
Yikes! Well, that is not a good update.
No, it wasn't. No, not at all. But I nonetheless got a little chuckle. But I felt bad. That's awful.
Yeah. Well, Meati, if you want to send us some product, I'm happy to give it a try.
Oh yeah, you'd be willing?
Oh yeah, I'd be willing.
Yeah, they won't. Nobody does. Nobody sends us anything.
You know what? You know what? They sent us some snacks. You turned it down. I got a bunch of snacks the other day.
Oh yeah.
And I had some.
Who's they? Not Meati, right?
No. Let me actually look up that.
We get Athletic Brewing. That's one we get. So I shouldn't say we never get anything.
That's true. We do get Athletic Brewing. Let's see. The company is called, I don't know. This is not good. Not a very good endorsement.
Okay.
Here. I need to figure that out. But but one of the snacks that I had yesterday, which I thought was absolutely delicious, was a coconut crusted cashew.
Okay.
Like coconut bits.
They put it around the cashew nut.
Around the cashew nut, and it was so good.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I feel like the world does not need that in it. Just nuts are good. Nuts are a great snack on their own. We just don't need additional coatings around the nut. But you know what? People do what they want.
The world needs what it wants.
Snack.
You know?
Yeah, right. The
Snackers get a snack.
The market will tell us if the world needs that or not. All right. Great. Good update. And a couple people saying hi. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Jeffrey, Suzanne, and Marie. Lucy B. Very good. Good to see familiar names and faces in there. All right. We got some good articles today. We've got a little bit of a weather report. We ready to jump in, Doug?
Let's do it. Let's do the weather report.
Here we go. Your plant-based morning show, Wednesday, May 3rd, weather report begins now. This is a big one. This is an earth shaker. U.S. burger chain Shake Shack has announced it is adding 3 plant-based items to its permanent menu, not even trials, Doug, including the Veggie Shack, which is the burger itself. I'll tell you in a minute what's in that. They've also got their non-dairy chocolate shake and their non-dairy frozen custard developed in partnership with Notco, a company we've talked about a good bit. There's a large note here from the Veg Economist article saying, to be fully vegan, the Veggie Shack has to be ordered without cheese, the Shack sauce, so without cheese, without Shack sauce, and with a lettuce wrap instead of a bun.
Ooh, that last one is getting me.
Fun. Yeah, I know. It's not, that much isn't great. I was excited because I went to the Veggie Shack website, and it turns out this burger isn't just a Beyond or Impossible one or a clone. It's packed with mushrooms, sweet potatoes, carrots, farro, and quinoa. So like it kind of still looks like a good burger. Kind of. It also looks a little bit like a veggie patty, but it just seems like it's going to be good. And they've got their crispy onions on there, the pickles. and then the cheese and the shack sauce. So I thought this could be really good, and not even the bun. So I mean, I don't know. That's a little bit of a letdown. Honestly, I didn't even read that part. I was so excited, and I hadn't even read that part of the news. So now I'm not as excited as I was.
Okay. Well, first of all, two things. Shake Shack in my college days was the jam. I frequented that place often.
Okay.
So while I haven't been there in years, I've been a fan of the Shake Shack for a while. So I'm pretty stoked on this, except for the bun thing. They got to figure that out because I'm not ordering a lettuce wrap.
What are you doing? It's like Chick-fil-A making the cauliflower burger and not making it vegan. Like you just drastically limit the market for it. I don't understand that. It's just weird. Maybe they'll update that quickly. I just feel like they're probably hip and with it. They're in New York City locations at their primary spot, I think. So hopefully they'll figure that out. It's a mess. And then they've got these shakes. The shakes are kind of cool. I mean, we can go there and get some fries and shakes or something. So that's that. Burger's going to be $8.29, available starting May 5th. But Shack app users have exclusive early access on Tuesday, May 2nd. So that's a nice little perk for being a Shack member or whatever that is. All right. Next up, favorite brand of the show, Oatley, for their provocative and insightful advertisements. We talked recently about how they partnered with Swiss Airlines to offer this vegan canned coffee drink. Well, now they've partnered with Minor League Baseball across U.S. and Canada. They call themselves the first national plant-based sponsor of a sports league in the U.S. That's kind of interesting. I don't know if we can contest that claim, but they're going to be doing branding and media, product sampling, and giveaways across the league's 120 stadiums. That's good. Let's just hope they don't get their advertising team involved and we don't have to sit through more of that stuff. Minor League Baseball has always been good about vegan stuff. Anytime I've gone to a minor league game, I find a vegan option of meat products or whatever, vegan hot dog, vegan burger. Here's the thing about this Oatley partnership. It's just their dairy-free frozen dessert bars in vanilla and chocolate fudge flavors available at 50 plus select stadium concessions, bringing the plant-based revolution to baseball fans nationwide. So this isn't doing anything to turn me around on Oatley. I'm glad they're making the effort. I don't want that at a baseball game. I'm not interested in a fudgesicle or whatever this is. I want a vegan hot dog. So, but we need, and not that I expect Oatley to make that, but we need a brand like that to step up and do this.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think you're right about that.
At the tourist game, Doug, you can get a Boca burger. You know that? And I think you can get a field roast sausage as well. At least 5 years ago, you could.
You can't get a field roast sausage. I don't know about the Boca burger. Last year I got one, and it happened to be, unfortunately, it was on Dollar Dog Night. So everyone else was getting dollar dogs, and I paid $6 for mine.
Vegan tax.
But that's the way the world works, I guess. I'll go ahead and upcharge.
It is. All right, and finally, last bit of news here. This is from Chile. On April 17th, which was 2 weeks ago, the government passed a bill to do what we've seen other countries trying to do with varying degrees of success. This bill would limit the use of words that sound like meat things. So hamburger, chorizo, sausage, or jerky, they can't be used to describe, promote, or market foods that contain a higher proportion of vegetable matter than meat. So it's all about the proportion of vegetable matter compared to the meat. Which means some of those new hybrids, they're not going to pass the test here. This is a little bit weird. I just feel like it seems like the countries are generally ultimately ending up not doing this because they look at the consumer studies and things and show that there's actually not confusion among consumers from these terms, as long as it also is clearly marked vegan or vegetarian or plant-based or whatever. But you got to wonder what other entities have influence over stuff like this. Passing, every country is going to have different context to these things. But
Chile's a big meat producing country, similar to Argentina or Brazil.
Okay, I actually did not know that, but that would make sense, and that would also make sense why there's probably a powerful lobby there. But to the rescue, Vegetarianos Hoy, an international organization working in Latin America, they stepped up. They called on the country's brands and organizations to make a statement. And now the document titled "No to the Law Against Products of Plant Origin" has been signed by a bunch of different companies. They need a better headline there, Doug.
Yeah. I didn't even follow what you said. Say that again.
The document that they've all signed, like eight groups, including Seitan Del Bueno, they've all signed this thing called No Capitals to the law against products of plant origin. That's the name of the product or the name of the thing.
Surely in
it's a
Spanish,
mouthful.
it's a better title, right?
Well, it's No a la ley contra producción something. Says the
Okay.
preview. Yeah, I don't know. We need something better there. It's not good. They should call Oatley. Get their ad people on the phone. Come up with a slogan.
They should.
All right, so that's it. That's your weather report for today. No other big news except for what we'll talk about in our stories.
That's a good weather report. Some good stuff.
So.
Except all of it was a little disappointing, right? All the headlines were good, right? So like Shake Shack gets a vegan burger, but you got to do it on a lettuce wrap. Oatley partners with MLB, but it's just a frozen bar.
Right. Nothing too much to be excited about. But you know what? It's progress. We're moving forward.
Progress. That's right. Progress or perfection.
Yeah. All right.
Mr. Jeffrey asked what country that was. It was Chile.
Chile. All right. So we got a couple things, Doug, today. Let's do first your thing. So you shared this to me yesterday, and I must be honest. When I saw that you shared this and said, "Hey, let's talk about this tomorrow," I thought, "Man, Doug always wants to talk about these food inflation things all the time. He wants to talk about the money situation at the grocery store, which is just not. I mean, how many times can we cover that?" Well, I clicked on the article today to begrudgingly do it, and I saw that it wasn't just any article on inflation. It was plantbasednews.org, written by one Doug Hay. How to beat inflation and save money on groceries: a guide for plant-based eaters, from a local politician who has his eye on his nose to the ear to the ground.
Politicians react.
Yeah. 7-minute read. This is not a short article.
No, it's not. It is not a short article. Yeah. So this was published in Plant-Based News. I'll just come out and say it. It's a lead into the grocery sweepstakes that I announced at the end of the show yesterday. We're giving away 6 months of free grocery, plant-based groceries. You can go to lovecompliment.com and click on the banner to sign up for that. But really, what I was going for with this article was really just kind of talk about ways to save money to save money at the grocery store, inflation or not, really plant-based or not, although it's all plant-based tips. But just kind of some ways to save some money at the grocery store, because groceries are quite expensive, Matt. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah, I've kind of noticed, for sure. I mean, I guess I've noticed that everything's expensive now. It's not that I think groceries in particular, but surely the groceries are, and that's one of the things you can't really cut so easily. We should point out this article is not the ones that I am tired of doing, which is the ones where we say how much % these different things have gone up by compared to the meat products and all. This is actual tips on how to save money and all. So it's actually a very good, useful article and well written, nice content.
Thanks, Matt. Reeling back the insults. I like it.
I got a few more too. I got a couple more jabs to throw your way.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Let's hear them.
Why don't you tell us what I don't know. Walk us through. I read it all, but I'd like you to tell me where you want to focus here. Well, here I like this. I like your breakdown of what products to buy what stores, because this, I think every vegan, even before this crunch situation with the cost of food, it was always a pain to have to go to different grocery stores, and that was a new problem only once I went vegan or vegetarian, then vegan. Started being picky about what kind of stuff I got, and I had to go to 2 or 3 stores to get it all. So you broke that down pretty nicely, and you told me what to think. I like when people say think this, and you said think Whole Foods when it came to high-end grocery store.
I should. You love calling that out. I should have thought about that as I wrote it. I often do things that I'm like writing something and I'm like, oh, Matt wouldn't approve of this, and I like backspace. Yes. All right. So let me just run real quickly through the general themes here. The first one is to start with a plan and then make a list. So just as you don't go to the grocery store hungry, or you're not supposed to, even though it happens to me all the time.
Yeah, that's really bad. And that's a great tip not to do that. It's a cliche. Everyone knows it, but if you get hungry, you just grab everything.
You just grab everything, and it's usually junk, right? It's usually what you want to eat in the car as soon as you check out.
Yep.
On the way home. Yep.
I'm a big fan of getting the loaf of bread just for that purpose. Buy extra bread from the bakery and just rip it apart as I go home.
Yeah. But really what we're talking about here is having some sort of plan for your meal structure for the week. So you're not just buying a bunch of random ingredients that will oftentimes either go to waste, or you'll have to go back to the grocery store to fill in some gaps. But having a bit of a meal plan, I mean, even if it's not a completely eat this every night kind of thing, but just having an idea of what you're going to eat so you can structure your meals out when you're going to the grocery store, and then create the list to do that. The next one is to be choosy about where you shop. And this is the one you're talking about here. And, we buy most of our groceries at a single grocery store, but we also once a month go to Trader Joe's, or we often once a month go to Whole Foods. We'll go to the farmer's market. We'll go to the bakery. We have all these kind of places that we go. And the idea here is that what's good, what you can get at the different places, and what you should be getting for a good price at the different places, or maybe what is missing it from your like standard grocery store, so that when you go to the grocery store, you're stocking up on the stuff, or on the budget store, for example, you're stocking up on certain items that are a lot cheaper, but are going to be just as healthy, just as good, just as fresh as they would be at any other grocery store. Stock your pantry with those types of things, so that then when you do your weekly shop at your standard grocery store, then you're not paying more for things that you could get at the budget one and stock up on. And so, I broke this down, and as I was doing this exercise, I did the categories were a budget grocery store, a high-end grocery store, think Whole Foods, like an Asian or a Latin market, some sort of ethnic market, a specialty store, bakery, farmer's market, and then some things online. And as I was doing this, I realized that, there's just a ton of crossover, and it really depends on what stores you have available and what they carry and that kind of thing. But so I did categorize certain items that I like to get at the different grocery stores, or that my family likes to get at the different grocery stores. But really, kind of it would be completely dependent on your experience at the stores near you.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, nothing to add. I mean, where does Trader Joe's fit in here for you? Which one of those?
Trader Joe's is the budget grocery store for me.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Frozen, you don't have frozen entrees there, like they do such a good job of.
I know they do.
Well, wine's the other reason I got.
Oh yeah, wine. I left alcohol out of this, but I probably should have.
No, it's good. It's okay. Good to do that probably. Good. And you don't have like clothing, like Aldi sells their logo apparel. You don't have that. You left that off. I think that stuff is like really popular.
Aldi's clothing?
Yeah,
I know like Kirkland brand clothing is.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's sort of ironic, but people also are into it. The Aldi stuff looks like old, like 1980s Houston Astros wear, that kind of
cool
orange and blue look. Yeah, people are into that. Okay, very good. Then you got to optimize your food choices. Let's just hit the tips quickly here. Buy foods that are in season. Stay away from the highly processed vegan meats. That's a huge one to me. If you just avoid those, not for health reasons, but just for cost, it just saves you a lot of money. Buy the store brand. I think the store brand, even at Whole Foods and stuff like that, they do pretty good with their canned goods nowadays. I know you didn't put their canned goods in that list, but
no,
I'm
actually
surprised those prices are decent for good.
Yeah, canned beans at Whole Foods. I think Erin, your wife, taught me this, and it's absolutely true. Canned beans at Whole Foods, organic beans from Whole Foods, like 365 brand, are cheaper than like the organic beans you'd get at Ingles.
Right.
Which is just kind of wild, but it's true.
Yep. And I noticed you said the stigma against store brand products is slipping, and I'm here for it. And I was going to point out that I think you're also here for the use of the phrase "I'm here for," because I've heard you say it about 20 times in the past week. So that's my only other jab I got for you.
Like, yeah, that's one that kind of comes out a lot. I don't know.
That's it. Everything else I love about the article. I think it's great, but I had to close it out. I really did. As I was reading this, like, this is a good piece of content. I really think you did an excellent job with this. No joke at all.
Well, thanks, Matt.
But all right.
I guess this is what happens when we talk for an hour every day about random things, is you start picking up on every little thing that I say.
That's what we do. All right, then you got buy frozen fruits and vegetables. This is a fantastic tip. We've talked about it a good bit on this show. They maintain a lot of the nutrition, and sometimes they're more nutritious than the fresh version, because they can be flash frozen at the peak of freshness just after being picked, instead of having to be picked way in advance and then ripen on the truck. So that's a great money saver. And you also
I even did a little research on this one. Matt, which I included in the
Oh, you
article.
did. You put
Some
some numbers
price
in there.
differences. I don't know
There
if you saw
you
that,
go.
but
I know you love those.
Mhm.
I also gave Erin this tip yesterday. She said, "Can we use that frozen kale in the fridge we have for anything, or in the freezer?" And I said, "No." I said, "Doug said that's only good for like stews and things like that," and I think he's right. But I couldn't remember what your other tip was. What's your other use case for the frozen kale that's kind of like spinach in its taste and texture?
Soups.
Yeah, I got
Sometimes
soups.
smoothies.
Smoothie. That's what it was. I couldn't remember that
Mhm.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually don't put kale in smoothies, but I'll put spinach in there.
I actually put the fresh baby kale, not frozen, but the fresh baby kale I always thought was pretty good in a smoothie.
Hmm.
Baby kale. Gotta keep it.
You know what's the
pretty-
best? Here's a smoothie tip for you.
Okay.
The best way to cover up greens. You can have a smoothie that's loaded with greens and just throw a couple of frozen pineapples in there, and it will
Neutralize?
it'll like neutralize all that bite.
Wow. A couple of frozen pineapple chunks, like
Chunks. Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, good. I don't tend to use pineapple. It's like does a weird. You know what it is? It neutralizes all the rest of my taste buds. It makes me not taste anything.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I eat pineapples and then go on to eat something else,
Mhm.
and it's probably the same effect there. Okay. Buy dried legumes. This is a homesteader kind of tip. This is serious business here.
Yeah.
Making a pot of beans, which I'm all about that. I'm here for it, but the but the can certainly is a good way to go. But I think you're right. If you want to save money, definitely
Yeah.
health. A lot of people do that for the health benefits, and that's I don't know if it's a great reason to go to the effort of making your own beans, but save money for sure.
Right. I mean, and that's what this is about, right? The first line here is buying dried over canned is undoubtedly more of a hassle. And that's why I don't do it. I mean, we have dried beans in the pantry at all times, and if we're planning ahead, especially like on a Saturday or something like that, we'll make a big batch. But if I'm trying to whip something up at night, there's no way I'm going to be able to do that.
Definitely right. But as you point out here, I think it's probably 6 times the cost to buy the cans versus make them yourself. All right, make your own. You say salad dressings, pasta sauces, soups, sauces. They don't much put any links in here, huh? There's all kinds of you could link to the salad dressing post on No Meat Athlete, your sauce system, supplements could have been linked to above. But then I noticed they don't in their styling on the website, they don't even put a different style for the links. You don't they have this list of bullet points, orange tofu and broccoli, or that you put, but you can't tell that they're links. So they need to get on.
Yeah, they need to get on.
They do have some. Right. They do have some of them have style on them.
I know. I wonder if that was a carryover from the Google Doc that I shared with them or something.
Or maybe because it's in a bullet list, it's subject to a different
styling thing,
set of instructions. Yeah. Who knows? This is some good HTML CSS talk by two total amateurs. Don't know anything about it.
I don't know. I'm here for it. All right. Make your own. That's a good one.
Yep. And then reduce food waste. And how's that going to save me money, Doug?
Well, because you're not buying stuff that you're not going to eat.
Okay, I'm gonna use every bit of the fruit, every bit of the pineapple, or whatever.
Yeah, you're stretching each item, stretching the calories out of each item. And really,
Good.
I mean, honestly, this one, the best thing you can do to reduce food waste is to have a little bit of a plan. In my opinion.
That makes sense, because that's the major food waster for me is when I just have a whole thing of salad that we didn't eat, like the clamshell, and we just dump it,
right?
Because it goes bad, or whatever other vegetable we just didn't touch. So yeah, very good point. All right, and then you get the contest giveaway. Why don't we promote that again? You can go over to lovecompliment.com, or you can go to this news article, actually, on Plant-Based News if you want. The pitch is 6 months of free groceries, right? That's, as Mr. Jeffrey points out, that's the way to beat inflation, is win this giveaway.
That's right.
And then you're good. Yeah, I mean, $7,900 worth of prizes, compliment nutrient bundle, not just the 6 months of groceries. There's also cookbooks, meal plans, and this massive compliment nutrient bundle. All the different winners, right, Doug? Not one winner take all situation.
It is 3 different winners. Okay. So winners, the top winner gets 6 months. Second winner gets 1 month free groceries. Third place winner gets just the guides and the compliment products. But there's multiple chances to win. There's ways to up your chances by doing certain actions, and it's $250 a week for groceries for 6 months, which is, I mean, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, very good. I mean, that you could get a family of 4.
4, yeah. We're about $300 a week.
Yeah, right. You got to be careful, but you could do it, especially with these tips.
Yeah.
All right. So it ends May 24th. Also partnered with High Carb Hannah on this as well. We didn't mention that.
Yes.
Friend of the brands. So yeah, get over there. What's our URL? I just
Lovecompliment.com.
Yeah.
Yep. It'll also be going up on Meati.com today in the little header area. And then if you go to Plant-Based News right now, it's no longer the featured article. But it's the second one.
Got buried already.
Top stories. Yeah. How to beat inflation. If you just Google how to beat inflation and save money on groceries, Plant-Based News, then
just Google the whole headline of the article.
Yeah. If you go to Plant-Based News and then search for Doug Hay, then you'll see all my articles.
There we go.
Which of the three, I think two Matt complimented me on. The other one, I'm not sure.
One I didn't.
I don't know. I'm just joking.
Okay, good. No, I think your writing is good. I do. I totally do. I'm not joking at all.
All right, good.
All right. Moving on then to the next one. This is not written by Doug. This is from VegNews. They pointed me to the study, which is actually where I want to spend more time. Well, I shouldn't say study, a document from the American Heart Association. But the VegNews headline, just to give proper credit here, American Heart Association ranks keto diet last for heart health. What about vegan? And then
I thought this was a good headline. How about you?
Good until you read more deeply in the article and you find that they never actually tell you where vegan landed because it didn't land very well.
Right.
So the subheadline says an evidence-based analysis of 10 popular eating patterns shows some promote heart health much better than others. And right near the top, they say, the attack on keto, of course, which is fine. Good. Diet wars, it's going to happen. Very low carb or ketogenic diets ranked last for heart health. Plant-based diets, on the other hand, ranked at the top for heart-healthy eating guidelines. So I thought, well, that's good. But then you look closer and it's not quite what's going on. I guess if we're calling Mediterranean and flexitarian, we're calling all that plant-based, then yes, that is 100% true statement. And I do think we should call those. So I guess I retract that. It is what's going on. It's just not what I think a typical VegNews reader, when they read that, they think that must mean vegan did well, since the headline asked how the vegan.
Well, they tell you where vegan fell.
Do they? Then I missed.
Falling in the second tier, a vegan diet that incorporates 10% fat as well as low-fat diets, both met 78% of the AHA guidelines. So what AHA is doing here is ranking diets 0 to 100, not ranking them the top 100 diets, but giving them a score from 0 to 100, right?
Yep.
100 being the healthiest diet for your heart.
Yeah, it's how closely it meets the AHA's guidelines for heart health.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a score.
So and they had 4 tiers. Vegan diet fell in the second tier with 78%, with a score of 78. And here's the quote from VegNews. While the emphasis on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and limiting while they emphasize those things, while limiting alcohol and sugar, the report says the vegan diet could be challenging to follow long term, and when eating out because it's restrictive and it may increase your risk of vitamin D deficiency, which can lead to anemia. So part of what they were looking at, and you may be getting to this, is when they were scoring was not just here are the things. Everything, consuming a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, choosing mostly whole grains or refined grains, using liquid plant oils rather than tropical oils, eating healthy sources of protein, minimizing added sugar and salt, limiting alcohol, choosing minimally processed foods instead of ultra processed foods, and following this guidance, whatever food is prepared and consumed.
Yes. Can you pull up the chart that's in the study itself? Do you have that study open in front of you? The link's on the show notes, and it's page 5. There's a big colorful chart that shows how all the diets scored here. So yes, you're right. I shouldn't have said that the VegNews didn't answer the question, because they did answer the question as to how the diet fared. And it fell in the second tier. It also got treated a little bit unfairly, I will say, even as a non-diet war participant. Right? I don't like to defend the vegan diet just because that's what I do. It did get a little. It couldn't score points in 3 of the categories. Like, it's not that it got red and scored 0 points for being red. It just got a white because it's not scored. But I think the net result to the diet is that it got 0 points for those categories. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe category 4, if you pull it up, this would be more clear. It's possible the category 4 they got a green for that, and the subcategories in it didn't matter. Maybe that's the case. So I should take that one back.
You
And
said
then
page 5?
yeah, page 5 in my PDF reader.
Yeah,
at
here we
least.
go.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right. So what I was saying is, you can see there that the that vegan had, which is 5 or 6 columns over, got those 3 white squares in the middle.
Mm.
But now I'm thinking that it didn't actually miss out on those points. It's just that it got the big green above that. Like all that striped green points contributes to the main green score. So that would be a more fair way to do it.
But if you look at the dash, they got. Oh, I see. It's all 4. I don't know. Did they just get 1 point there, or
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe that because I think maybe all those sub things, the striped boxes, I think that all contributes to your, score on the line above all that.
Okay.
So maybe they got the maximum by getting a green there, and it's based. So who knows for sure? But anyway, the only real drawback of the vegan diet, then, assuming that wasn't one, was the point that it's hard to adhere to this in all situations, right? Like it's not the diet itself; it's more just the difficulty of complying with the diet. Because especially, the good versions of vegan foods, the healthy versions of vegan foods are not available as readily available as the healthy versions on these other diets of their foods. So, that is a decent score. If that's the case, why did it only get 78 points? I don't quite get that. So anyway, I don't fully understand the scoring system. Now, so even though vegan did okay, other vegan diets didn't do so well. The very low fat, which somewhere up in the paper, they call that like the Esselstyn, Campbell, etc. diets. That didn't do well at all. That ended up in tier 3 out of 4. And the only ones in 4 are paleo and keto. So this is only one notch above that.
Why? The big one, 2 things. Okay, so very low fat got a red, got no points. For use liquid plant oils rather than tropical oils. Is that because it's oil free?
Yeah, because they don't have any. So that was also a little bit confusing to me. Like when it says do this rather than this, it's like they're saying the second thing is obviously bad, right? The tropical oils are bad, but is no oil worse than using liquid plant oils? And I think some heart health experts would say yes, that it is worse. You do want to have oil, but there was some other situations where that happened. Like I noticed keto got a red for use whole grains over refined grains, or rather than refined grains. And I think they just don't have
no grains.
Right, they have none. So again, it was confusing. Like, well, they don't have refined grains. They avoided that. But I guess this is where they want you to get the other thing. So because there's no grains, and I think that's true. I think whole grains are thought to be heart protective. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's okay. It's interesting. I mean,
basically it's the winners are like the DASH diet, the Mediterranean diet, pescatarian. So like plant forward diets, similar to what VegNews is saying, plant forward diets that also maybe include a little bit of meat.
Yeah. And it appears to me, and I'm only bringing this up because it's sort of the theme of recent conversations. It appears to me that the American Heart Association would say a diet that has a little bit of meat in it is better than one that doesn't, right? You lost point. Vegan, very low fat vegan lost points in adequate, healthy, plant-based and other protein sources. The regular vegan didn't lose points there, but they didn't have a wide variety of them. But I think they still get the maximum points. So just interesting that, like, I don't know. I guess I've just been immersed in this world for so long that it's like we think vegan, no meat, no animal products is the best, and that's the gold standard of diets. And in many ways, I still believe that. But I just more and more now see, like, I don't know, some dissenting opinion here. And this is a heart health diet, and they're saying it's a little bit better to have some protein or some animal protein in there. So I don't know. Interesting to me. And partly that's due to compliance. It makes it easier to get those healthy foods, which is the example I said from this weekend, where we ended up having nachos for lunch instead of like shrimp on a salad like the person next to me had, because, we have this ethical line that we're not going to cross. But I don't know. Like I think they had a healthier choice than I did for lunch. So there you go.
Remind me what the DASH diet is.
It's hypertension. The H in it is hypertension, high blood pressure. So it's a diet to, fix high blood pressure. But in doing so,
how is it different than the Mediterranean diet?
I don't know that. Apparently, it's also called the Nordic or Baltic diet.
Right.
which to me would imply that there's a lot of fish, maybe, compared to other animal products. But I don't actually know. I don't know what goes into the DASH diet.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing. I think it's flexitarian. So that is that. That's the American Heart Association report. And I don't know. Interesting. Good to see those diets. I'm a huge fan of these flexitarian diet patterns for their accessibility to the masses. I think maybe not the masses, but a lot more people than can make a vegan diet work. So I think this is good to see.
Yeah.
What else? What do we got? We got no comments on that. We got some grocery comments. Steven says he saw a guy run a marathon in full Aldi gear.
Oh,
That is exciting. Yeah, probably a cool dude there if he was able to procure all that. Yeah, and not too much else. Lori Stevens here, who knows her nutrition, says it's for hypertension. My blog has the full breakdown of DASH. So go to Lori Stevens. She's the CHF dietitian. I don't know her URL, but Lori, feel free to provide it. You've contributed plenty to this show and comments and things, so happy to promote that. Looks like the chfdietitian.com.
Mr. Jeffrey says, what if this was back to going to grocery store hungry, he says, what if you're training for an ultra and have to go grocery shopping? You're never going to find time that you aren't hungry because you're always hungry when you're training for an ultra.
Yeah, I mean, the grocery cost would certainly go up just because you have to eat more food.
Right.
When I was ultra running, they didn't go down. But when I was training for my 100, I really, more than any other time in my life, found myself wanting to eat really healthy foods like grains and beans and groceries and things. Maybe I was just at that point in my life that it's just what I wanted to do. But I just found that I started doing that. So I don't know, just who knows? Maybe coincidence, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, when you're like at peak training, you often are pulled towards healthier foods, cleaner foods.
Yeah, and that would make sense. Cool. All right, good.
And tater tots.
And tater tots, of course. As long as it's after a run, not bad. And that's a real true thing, by the way. I mean, not tater tots specifically, but like fruit juice, for example. Your body can actually make immediate use of that stuff rather than store it in fat where it will otherwise go if you're training. So, I mean, if you're doing it while you're running or shortly after. So it's a good rationale behind that. If you're going to be running a lot, eat those sugar and, kind of the worst carbohydrates, eat those during or right after your run. All right. What else, Doug? we packed stuff in today. I can't believe we're done already.
I know.
With a minute to spare. We did not today get to the thing I said we would get to yesterday, which was the healthy hacks from Best Life Online. But we got another hacks article too, a tofu hacks. So we might have a hack.
Maybe hack it up Thursday.
Hackathon tomorrow.
Hackathon
Thursday.
I like it. That sounds good. Yeah, I kind of threw you for a wrench when I shared the.
No, that's okay.
Threw you for a wrench. That's not the right way.
No,
threw a wrench in it.
Threw me for a loop, or threw a wrench.
Threw you for a loop. Threw you for a loop. Threw a wrench at you.
I think you threw a wrench in the machine, right? Throw a wrench into the works.
Into the cog.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I screwed things up when I asked you to do the plant-based.
No, it's good. Good substantive content, which I like way better than Best Life Online articles or Eat This, not that. All right, good. Then that is it. Thanks everyone for coming today, and don't forget, check out our YouTube. Support it by liking, subscribing, all those things. We're gonna start putting other stuff up there. We're gonna start a little weather report video that goes up each day, so you can get the quick digest of the show if you don't want to listen to the whole 45 minutes every day. And just trying some other stuff. So get over to that YouTube. It's youtube.com/NoMeatAthlete, and don't forget Discord, nomeatathlete.com/Discord, where people chat it up about different stuff. And you can.
Hey, and if you're not subscribed to that YouTube channel, like, what are you doing? Really? I mean, even if you don't watch it every day, like, go ahead and subscribe so that every time you do log into YouTube, you can see what latest videos are thrown up. Get on there.
We're going to hit 3,000 subscribers, which isn't really that much in the YouTube world, I don't think. But we're at 2.9.
It's the start,
It is the start. Yeah. So get over there and see if you can become lucky number subscriber 3,000. And if you do that, we'll buy your groceries for the next, not just 6 months, but 6 years. Right, Doug? If you're the 3,000
we're not going to do that. That's maybe when we hit, if you're a 1 millionth subscriber, Then we'll buy
Then your
you.
groceries are taken care of for the next 6 years.
Yep.
So someone's going to game it if we
I know,
say that. They're going to make bot accounts and they're going to get number million tomorrow.
that
might be worth it, actually.
I know. I'm here for it. That's fine.
All right. That deal is not real. You're not going to really win groceries for the next 6 years, no matter what you do to us.
Look at who's disclaiming stuff now, Matt. We end the show feeling a little uneasy about that one.
Yeah, I know. When real money's involved, I don't want to do that. If I have to say it's about me pretending I'm a doctor or something, that's different. And pretending my advice is medical advice and all that. But no, real money, financial outlay, I don't want to do that. All right.
Not a doctor. All right.
All right. Thanks
everybody.
for coming, everyone. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.